so I don't know which rooster. But I heard the rooster as well. But neighbor, there's something that I've been doing and the lives, you know. A year ago now. Neighbor?
Go ahead, no, sir.
Yeah, man. Just little analysis I've been doing from you know, just examining from life to life, and I have to commend you on your platform, sir. It's one of the best to sit down and listen to on any day, any given day. I heard, yeah,
Well,
man.
thank you.
I heard the whole bus thing was on another live as well earlier today, and I gave my 2 cents on it, and we get some cussings and get thrown out for the live and all of that. All because
Yes.
I blatantly said that my analysis is that the bus system, as everyone has been saying, it is a good system for the country. And the transport
Yes.
minister stated that they got a package, and he listed what and what entails in that package. The logistics of the bus coming into Florida, the warranty, maintenance, retrofitting, even the application, the app to track and all of that. So it wouldn't be honest to take up a calculator and just do a quick mathematical thing on it and just divide 110 by the total, because it's a package we're working with. So anybody who does that is just doing that for political bias, to state how much the value of a bus. If it's a package you got, it is a package. I do not know if there is anything else that is going on behind the scenes that I'm not aware of. But if I know that something is a package, it is a package. And you have to break down that package to know what costs what and what costs what. So I cannot go out on a limb and state that this costs this and this costs this and the government is up to this and up to that. I don't have no form of information like that. I'm just saying what I see and hear. And the level of cognitive dissonance and confirmation and bias that is being presented on some of these lives are atrocious, sir. So if I am just stating the facts, and the facts are in alignment with one of the party, boy, the bag of cussing and all sort of something will take place after that. Neighbor, you hearing me? Because everything sound blank on my side and I don't know if I cut off.
Because you are speaking, sir, I have to listen.
Oh, I just looked down on the phone and I
You're not
realized it
hearing me?
disappeared. I was wondering if it... Yeah, man, I hearing you.
No, man. It's my face you want to see or you want to hear my voice?
No, man, I'm not. I'm driving, man. I have the earphone in my ear, so I'm not looking at the phone. Suppose I'm disconnected and I don't know.
No, man. You are speaking, man. We're hearing you clearly. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. So I'm saying that when you go somewhere and you state some form of common sense, it is not being portrayed in a form, once it's not politically aligned in what someone else is saying, there's a psychological issue going on there, you know? And it has to do with cognitive dissonance. Well, nearly bite my tongue when I say that. And what I would like to say to persons who are dihearted and they don't, and they need to take their head from out of their wherever. If you don't know how to tally a government to vote, I can just give you a basic formula to use and stop being all dihearted and talking nonsense and saying things to your political beliefs to just vote for a party. Look at what the country, look at the state of the country, the economy, your crime, everything that has been going on. Look at the great pillars in the economy. And if you can put it on a scale where 0 is neutral, negative is going backwards, and a positive number is going forward. If you can just look at that comparison and say, okay, the country was X. Now, under this government, the country is now here. If all those factors are going into a positive direction, then the decision is already self-made as that.
No, sir, it's not as simple. No, sir. It's not as simple as that. It's not as simple.
What is your perspective, neighbor?
That is not how politics is practiced across the world, sir. The fact of the matter.
So you
hold on, no? The fact of the matter, sir, is that we operate largely in a two-party system, a democracy that two parties compete for government. You expect the PNP to remain. Are you a supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party, sir?
Yeah. Based on what the government is doing, I'm leaning towards the Jamaica Labour Party.
You are lean, or you're a supporter?
I wouldn't call myself a supporter. I'm just basically a citizen, and what I'm seeing, the country is in a proper direction, and that is where I'm voting.
Fantastic, and that's your right. But you are speaking as if to say you expect the PNP to remain in opposition forever.
Not necessarily. I'm saying if the criteria are met.
And therefore, sir, part of politics is that you have to uphold. You expect the PNP to just support the government, yes. The government does?
No, man, opposition is good enough. Opposition
the point
is
I'm
good.
The point I'm making to you, sir, is that the government don't need to focus on the opposition it is getting. What it must do is to focus on the job it has to do, communicate to the people of Jamaica that it is doing this on their behalf, and the people would be sensible enough to make their choice. You don't think?
Well, that's what it boils down to, you know. That is what it boils down to, you know, neighbor. However,
and if you go on a PNP platform to carry the Labour Party line, you think they are just going to sit down and allow you?
Yes, sir, but the thing is, yes, sir, but I can blatantly tell you this. I can stand out of the box and I can look down on both lives, JLP and PNP lives, with no form of confirmation bias in my mind. And if the arguments are good on the PNP side or the arguments are good on the JLP side, I use basic common sense to make a decision. I am not blinded by confirmation bias or cognitive dissonance that I see everybody is caught up in. That's all I'm saying, you know. But I have to just admit that not everyone is thinking this way, because the country is breaking down with different level of persons from different environment, different level of IQs, and they say things different.
And do you understand, sir, that no matter how well the government that you are leaning to does, there are over 300,000 Jamaicans who will not vote for them. You know that?
Yeah, man. I know that.
So it's not, they are not looking at performance. They are looking at their party to be in power. And you know, we may sit here and say, well, that needs to change. But it is so in America, where Democrats and Republicans vote along. Do you think the Democrats are going to win Texas? Or the Republicans going to win California? Not going to happen. There are going to be some people, sir, who vote straight on party lines. And elections are really among the uncommitted, you know, at every level. In democracies, elections are mainly among the uncommitted. People like you.
Right.
People like you who can
look at it
objectively and say, okay, you know, the government is doing well. Let's continue with them. But then there are many thousand Jamaicans who can't wait to see the back of this government.
Yeah, but I want to tell you something, though, neighbor. Myself and some of my colleagues is not mixed up in all of the politics and all of that. It's just maybe a few months ago the algorithm started point politics lives to me, which I started to engage in them. So politics is somewhat new to me. You know, we grew up in the political environment, but this wasn't something that I was looking into that much. Amongst my friends, we are business focused individuals, focusing on business and whatever, what's it not, and just living our life. But I want to tell you something, that this election, for some strange reason, has made it to our ears. And myself, among other persons within my circle who weren't political affiliated, are also leaning towards the Jamaica Labour Party. So
why is that? Why is that, sir?
I would put it to the social media engagement, because back in the past, when technology, I guess, maybe was, it was minimal, and also the work that this current administration is doing and social media grasp it kind of empower you to say, no man, this election, man, we have to do something, man. We have to go dirty up a finger,
Well, I don't think it's a matter of dirty enough finger, though.
I mean, go vote, man. That's what, yeah, been it up.
Yeah, yeah. But why are you not considering the People's National Party, sir? Aren't the alternative government? Why are you not considering them?
I don't think there is very much room left for them to campaign on. And you can blatantly see through that they are grasping for straws. Everything that they're throwing right now, you can clearly see through it. As I said, I'm not blinded by the confirmation biases or the cognitive dissonance. We're not blinded by that. So therefore, once you can see through all of that, you can see that what is being thrown is not sticking. So if you're at that level, then you can see
what is being thrown. What is being thrown?
I mean, all right, for example, I could have seen amongst my my friends, we could have seen that podium that the opposition leader went on, and the mic check, yo. We could have all seen and deciphered that that was a political stunt. We could have seen through it. We could have made an assessment to say, his PR team and fellow comrades are letting him know that he's not resonating with the Jamaican people.
Sorry, when you say a political stunt, you're saying that Golden's mic check and expletive was planned?
It was planned. There was nothing at all wrong with that mic.
Golden
every mic check. It's a smart assumption I'm making, but I believe in it.
Hold on. But how could you arrive at such a conclusion?
Because he is not resonating with the Jamaican public, sir.
And that would make him resonate? Hold on, because so that would make him
remember that what's his name again? Mr. Warmington. A little expletive came from him through a matter of excitement, because that's within his character. So that's his character, and the excitement of putting whatever and they put your ex beside the bell and all of that. So that's within his character. It's not in Mr. Golin's character. Yo, mic check. He was preparing and leading up to it. Even
I don't know if it's not in his character. Maybe it's not in his public
in his public character. Right. Within his public character then. It was leading up. There was nothing wrong with that mic, sir. All the yo is being heard clear. Everything tapping the mic being heard clearly. So I don't know why he was doing all of that. Well,
A bit
I
of a
know I
stretch.
was doing all of that.
Well, I think it's a bit of a stretch, really, to suggest that Golden was in complete control of that situation and that this was staged for him to get some traction from it.
Mr. Neighbor, what couldn't you not have heard when he was doing all of that stunt? Did you hear all the yo, yo, yo? Even when he was moving the mic from his mouth to mutter expletives, you still hear it.
Uh-huh.
So the mic was working.
Uh-huh.
So
Well,
all of that was staged. I am not resonating with the people. There's not much sticking. The traction that I'm looking for from the public is mainly from the dieted Jamaicans.
but even that
We need
backfired.
to do something more.
Even that backfired.
Repeat what I said. As I said, nothing is not really sticking. As a person, his whole persona in the public is not resonating. You have not much things to campaign on. It's just a bad time to be an opposition. I'm not saying opposition is bad. Yeah, man, right now I think yes, because who you're competing against left very little room, you know. If you, to me, what I take to heart is the primary thing that some Jamaicans are looking at, and that is crime. Jamaica is a country that is plagued with crime. Jamaica is a place you go outside, you see your neighbor on the ground bleeding out and this and that. And that was somewhat of the norm years ago. It was somewhat of the norm to lay down in the ghetto and hear something burst up in the ear, or you wonder who that. So this is something that our brain is not grasping over time. I don't think people absorbing this enough. I do not think so. And when you hear the numbers on that to where it is currently, it is amazing. And I think the light that has been shed on that is not enough. It is not enough. I think we need to shed more light on that. This is not something small for the country. And if you can dominate in a country like Jamaica with the crime rate, one of the great pillars that you should look for in a country like Jamaica, if you can dominate that, it is going to be very difficult for you to lose an election. And that is fact for me. If you can dominate that area, it's very hard to lose an election. And then everything else around it now is like cherry on top. The economy, GDP. I heard something recently with Amnesty, with NWC. And I heard on your program you list out some to solidarity, and it's so much. It's so much. I think you listed maybe around 10 or more. So there is not much room that is there to campaign on. So we have to do some little trivial stuff and talk about buses, this and that. We have to make up some little trivial stuff. My daughter go school and the ribbon never in her ear and whatever. We have to, it's just some trivial stuff, and they're not sticking.
You know, sir.
So that is where the opposition is at this current.
You know, sir. I think you are partly correct, but I think the opposition is lazy, and they have spent too much of their time opposing an individual,
right,
rather than engaging Jamaicans about the issues this country faces and the policy prescriptions that they would recommend to have those issues addressed. You know, constructive critique whilst offering a counter proposal. Sir, every policy that this government has can be strengthened, you know, everyone. Okay? Look at education, for example. There are lots of opportunities in education for improvement. Lots of opportunities. Okay? So your criticisms have to be compelling. Right? And that is the challenge that the opposition faces. It has not presented a credible alternative. It's not that the government has done fantastically well, you know.
You know why I give them a little higher ratings, neighbor? We have to look at where the country is really coming from, you know. Because even with the school bus thing, you know, it's not like we are at a state where I think the country can buy 500 new police cars and 2,000 brand new school buses, etc., etc. But we are in the right direction.
May I tell you something, sir? Do you know that governments do better when oppositions are effective?
Right, I'm learning.
Yeah,
I wasn't
governments
thinking about that, but yes.
governments do much better when there is an effective opposition that is credible and presents the people an alternative. Because remember this, if the government wants to retain power, they have to perform sufficient so that the people keep them in power and don't turn to the opposition. And once the opposition becomes the effective alternative government, people normally hand government to them.
Right.
The challenge with this opposition, as I pointed out in my notes earlier, is that they are opportunistically overpromising. They are reading from an outdated outlook for the country. Their outlook for Jamaica seems outdated. They are placing too much emphasis on opposing rather than presenting constructive alternatives. All right? And I think that these are the obstacles they face.
But the culture, do you think that the culture allows for constructive criticism in this type of culture that we are in? For example, if they were to utter, I'm just thinking, I'm not sure, I'm just thinking out. If they were to utter, yes man, the school bus system, that's a great initiative. However, if we come in, we will add more buses to the fleet, brand new buses. You're not trying to look at thing. Do you think that will make their supporters who are lobbying for them give them, you know, maybe they want political points? Maybe if they were to utter constructive criticism based on our culture, would that be damaging for them and they're afraid to do it?
You know, sir, culture is not always right, you know. And that's where leadership comes in. Because how was the culture created? It was created by the same leaders. Leadership demands that you change the culture. And it comes through enlightenment, through education. You can lead people, sir, to a different perspective, to a different thinking. Wholeness is attempting to do that. Right? Do you realize that Wholeness, when he goes to his meeting, talks to the people? He reasons.
Yeah, man,
it's a culture change, you know.
Yeah,
and you know that it will catch on. You listen to Dayton Campbell, sir?
Maybe one or two times. Is he popular on the platform? Because
No,
I'm not sure if the platform is even.
They are shouting at the people. They are bellowing out their words. You know, it's a shout. It's not a conversation that they're having. Well, that's part of the politics historically, where we go to meetings and we just shout. You just rile up the people. You remember Portia, sir?
Yeah, man, I remember, man.
Well, then go back and listen to Gold. Go back and listen to Golding, Bruce Golding. The conversation. A lot of times, the conversations are a little bit above the people sometimes. But you have to understand that you are not talking to only the people in front of you. You are talking to a wider audience. And I think wholeness is changing that. I mean, some people will find it a little boring still, a little bit of, intellectualizing everything.
It's not boring to me, neighbor. When I see him on a podium talking, he articulates himself in such a way where me amongst other persons can understand what's going on.
But we like
he explains himself in such a
we
way.
like the ray racer. We like the jump up and the shouting and the. That is why, sir, I must tell you the truth. A lot of these lives that you see are not going to survive, If I may say.
Not mentally stimulating. It's not mentally stimulating. I know, man. I know. I realize.
The audience is restrictive and restricted. And you have to broaden what you offer. I think wholeness has broadened the Labour Party's tent, and they should be eternally grateful for him. Anyway, sir, have to run.
Yeah, my neighbor. It was good talking to you, sir.
You must come back.
All right, sir.
All right. Jamaica girl, who is next? Good afternoon, sir. Gigi?
Hey, neighbor, what's up?
I'm not too bad. Hi, how are you?
Not too bad.
What's on your mind?
I just wanted to add a little bit to the buses.
Yes.
That has been spoken about, labeling them as old buses. All right, so I'm going to add a little technical information. Generally, buses of this nature are called industrial. They are classified as industrial units. They tend to take on the rigors and the pressures of any form of work that it is given. And generally, they are long-term investments. The most critical part about these buses should be and will always be the structure. What kills buses like these are the structure of it. Not the engine, not the gearbox, because guess what? The gearbox can be changed, the engine can be changed. So even if an engine is damaged, if you think of a brand new engine costs anywhere between $3 to $4 million. You put that back into a bus, you take out the old one, put in a new one, you have that engine now for the next 10 years.
Yes.
So in terms of the investment that they're talking about, that these are old buses, they're pretty brand new in terms of the structure. The structure is what really determines the lifespan of the unit. So when the structure reaches to a stage where it is frail and collapsing, that is the time that you classify it as term. Engine and gearboxes are not significant features that determine the age of a bus. Because you can change an engine and you can change a gearbox. So if you even think about people who in construction, when they buy what you call an excavator, an excavator is a $100 million investment in neighbor. You can have an engine in it for 5 years and the engine is destroyed. What you do? Sell that excavator? No. You change the engine, and you're good to go again. So I'm in industry where I've had a lot of experience where these industrialized units, they're as good as new once you have the ability to change it. And if you look at the economics of the situation, it's a win-win situation for us. When you can get a package that gives you a holistic coverage of the safety of the kids, you can't pay for that, neighbor.
Don't you think that this is potentially an election winning initiative?
It is.
It is?
It is. Yes.
And don't you think that it is the politics of it why there is controversy? And don't you think that the PNP knows that this is a popular initiative and government is likely to benefit electorally from it?
And that is why they attacked it, neighbor. They have observed initiative have presented to the people life-changing measures in their life where it comes to their kids concerned. They have realized it, It's because of that realization they have gone out on a limb to attack it.
Yes. It's a bad political strategy, you think?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You have come back to one statement and you have said it regularly. They are lazy. They're lazy set of politicians. They don't think. They're lazy. Right? I'm in full agreement when you said they are lazy. They are so lazy, it's not funny.
Do you think they will be able to recover from this? Are they recovering now?
It's too late now. It's kind of a little bit too late, and there's too much in the social media atmosphere that can be regurgitated and put in front of the people of their errors. Right?
What about their plans? The alternative that they have offered. Is it worth considering?
Neighbor, the last talk I just spoke a while ago. Everybody is seeing through everything that they come with.
We get up for God the market earlier, man.
Everybody is seeing exactly all of their proposal. When somebody come to you and make a proposal that pro-box people and AR wagon, no, AR wagon, him say? AR wagon. When him say AR wagon to carry your kids, them neighbor. What do you think happens to a mother who has a child that is sending to school now to say, look, they're going to put my child in an AR wagon and pro box. They're already in a stage of fear with the current situation.
Yeah.
It's not even the money. It is not even the money anymore.
Yeah.
Of saving.
Yes. You know, sir, when you speak to when you speak to PNP supporters, there is one listener caller to this program who is prepared to bet money that the PNP is winning the election. Their enthusiasm. The PNP don't feel that they are not in the ascendancy, you know, sir. Do you think the PNP is still in the race? Are they still in with a shot?
Neighbor, he's leading door. He's a comrade, so to speak. And after the past couple of weeks, I just spoke to him not too long ago. and I said to him, say, look here, tell me your honest opinion. And him level with me. He said, look, based on what happened the last couple of weeks, I'm not so confident. They're putting on a brave face. They have to, because it's a competition, neighbor.
Give me your own feelings, Gigi. You have been watching the politics for years. Give me your own feeling. Where you think the election lies at this time?
Look here,
who is winning?
To be honest, it kind of feeling like 2020.
What? What?
It started to feel like 2020.
No, Gigi. 2020 was a bad time.
No, neighbor. Neighbor. What I'm trying to say is this. I can't see them overturning 18 seats and maintaining their 14. Because I'm going to tell you now, I'm looking at some of the PNP seats, and at least 2 or 3 of them are in trouble.
Yes? Which 2?
Michael Phillips is one. Right? And believe it or not, the St. Maurice guy.
Central.
Yes. It is just a general feeling that those 2 seats in particular, and what is happening to some of those people around are seeing some changes to other communities, and because they don't have a JLPNP, they feel left out. And some of them might just say, try their hand at this. So as I'm saying, I'm feeling that it is like 2020 almost. Yes, JP might lose 1 and 2 seats, but they may gain back from the 14 that the PNP have. You understand?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
another issue.
Come on.
There's another issue I wanted to touch on, neighbor. I came on a program some long time ago and I spoke about it. My personal opinion, I expressed to you about parish councils. My opinion about parish councils. Parish councils have a set of political leaders inside the council that are I'm going to use a word, archaic in their mental capacity. They are so archaic, they are old, they think very old. So when you talk about the urban center, talking about this guy coming up and talking about $10 million a month, if you listen to the Factories Corporation, surely the space that they will be provided will give the council an opportunity to earn money from the space. And what you need to have is people who think like that. You need people who to think with a business-oriented mind and think logically. This man said the average salary in St. Thomas was $20,000. Do you believe that?
No, sir.
That's the thing. This man just throw figures and talk. So what I'm trying to say, the parish council, for me, from a personal perspective, this is just me talking now. If it was left up to me, parish councils are run by professionals, not
Yes.
political people.
Yes.
I will get rid of the whole political directorate completely. What you need in there are proper managers and engineers and planners to run a town and city. Those
Right.
are the people that you hold accountable. The sewage system will be done. They can manage a budget. A lot of these guys can't even produce a budget. And all
Right.
them talk about is road and drain. When you hear them talk is road and drain, that's all. Nothing for the future. And what they do now, they use road and drain as a part of their hustling. It is clear. It's the only thing they can make money off of.
Sorry. Let me ask George a question. George 3, do you want me to review the forecast or the polls? Tell me which one. I'm going to it next. Go ahead, Gigi.
Yeah, so that was my 2 cents on the parish council people. They need to revamp the whole parish council system.
Yeah.
You know, it's too archaic, my boss, and I'm annoyed by it.
You're quite right, but it's going to require some agreement by both sides.
Yeah, so you check Spanish Town. Though. Spanish Town is one of the worst towns.
Oh God, don't go there. Don't go there, sir.
Eh? Spanish
Have you
Town
ever driven to there,
if
sir?
rain, if it rain even drizzle in Spanish Town, it flood.
All right, Gigi, take
And
care of
this-
yourself. You hear?
All right, my boss.
Bless you. Bless you. Good. All right. So George, the forecast that we did on Thursday, tomorrow we're going to give you, there were 8 seats. As I speak to you, the forecaster is in the field. My forecaster, the Politics Plus forecaster, is in the field doing some work for tomorrow. There are 8 seats that are at dead heat right now. We can neither call them for the PNP nor for the Jamaica Labour Party. Based on the forecast of Politics Plus forecaster KC own boss, on Thursday, if elections were held, the Labour Party would be 15 and 8 are undecided. The 8, I have looked at those, and it's a dead even. So that's 44-19. is how we have called it. 44-19, the Labour Party is losing 5 seats based on the results. The Labour Party is losing 5 of its constituencies. I will not say what those constituencies are. You have to tune in tomorrow to get those results. Let's go with the national polls now. The national polls, the latest ones we have. Now remember that these national polls were snapshots at that time. Sorry. Hold on. Jamaica girl, tell me if I'm being heard clearly. Remember, what Politics Plus does is forecasting, not polling. Although we include polls, what we look at is the history of the seat, the candidates in the seats, the conditions of issues in the country. We look at the last time the people went to the election, which is the local government election, and various other things. But really, you have to look at traditions. Forecasting takes into consideration various things. Polling speaks to people. So the polls are the views at that time of particular persons, like the 1200 that Anderson polls or Blue Dot, whatever the number is. So the pollster speaks to people. The forecaster does research. He looks at, we talk to people too, you get feedback, but you don't have a poll. By the way, the margin of error for the forecast is, about 10%, 90-10. So he's about 90% sure that the Labour Party is winning 40 seats. And as I said, when you look at the 8 battleground marginals, the Labour Party is edging 4 and the PNP edging 4. So it's a 44-19 election in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party. The PNP picks up 5 and have held on to their 14. Very interesting. Let's see what comes out on Thursday. Let's go to Blue Dot for my listener. What you have to do now, my brother, is that you do what is called an extrapolating of the numbers. An extrapolating of the numbers based on the leads on both polls. Blue Dot puts the Labour Party 4 points ahead. Okay? So then you assume a 4-point lead to project the seat counts. If you do the extrapolating, the JLP gets 52% of the votes and the PNP 48%. So you use a simple seat allocation model and you estimate the seat counts. There are 63 seats in the Jamaican Parliament. If you give the JLP 52% because they have a 4% lead, then you are falling anywhere between 35 and 40 seats. Blue dot. And the PNP is winning 23 to 28 seats. 23 to 28 seats. That's a 48%. Blue dot. So blue dot says the Labour Party is winning between 35 and 40 seats. Don Anderson gives the PNP 3 points ahead. Here is where it becomes very interesting, even confusing. Assuming a 3-point lead for the PNP, then you do the same seat projection. The PNP therefore has 51.5% of the popular support, and the Labour Party 48.5%. And you use the same seat allocation model. Don Anderson gives the PNP 34 seats, up to 39. And they give the Labour Party 24 to 29. Want you to bear in mind that these projections are rough estimates and may not reflect the actual outcome, as the electoral dynamics are complex and are influenced by various factors. And so, given the conflicting polls, it is challenging to predict a definitive outcome. However, you have to analyze the scenarios. And the scenarios being analyzed adds this very important point, that in both of those polls, the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party has a significant lead over his rival. In one of the polls, 7%, in the other, 9%. Based on the tradition of voting patterns in Jamaica, that factor places the Labour Party in a very good position to win the election. Both the polls show that. Let's take the 3.5%, the 3% lead that Anderson gives the PNP. He gives the Labour Party leader a 7-point lead. If you analyze that against voter preferences and voter, just the way people vote, then we give the Holness administration a 2-point lead, because the leader's popularity influences the vote.